Hey ladies, how are we doing today on Girl Talk Tuesday? We are going to discuss desperate saleswoman. Is that you? Why you are killing the sale. Now, sales. Most people, they cringe at the thought of having to do sales, right? They hate having to do it. It's something that most people try to avoid. It may even be sit on their list of fears that they have, and if they can avoid doing it, they would. But if you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be pretty good at sales if you're planning to have any kind of business at all, right? So it is something that you do have to learn and be pretty good at until you're ready to hire a sales team that can go and do the sales for you, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But for now, you need to be able to close sales. And if you find yourself constantly losing the sale, killing the sale, can't get anybody to see your vision, see how good your product is, there's some problem there. And I want to help you with that today. So what you do every day with your business is selling. So even if you hate it, it's what you have to do. What you post online, your content, when you talk to people, do you speak from stage? Do you do one-on-ones? Do you speak to a group setting? Are you going to networking events? Everything you do that's related to your business comes back to how you're selling it. And even though the stuff that you post online to help get eyes on you and your product and your service is more on the marketing side of it, there's going to come a time when you're talking to a prospect one-on-one or to a small group, and how are you doing when it comes to closing and making that sale? Are people buying from you? So that's what we're going to discuss today. Are you getting all choked up? Are you getting nervous? Are you killing the sale? Let's talk about that today on Girl Talk Tuesday. Hey ladies, if you are new to watching me, I am Nice Girl Jen, creator founder of Nice Girls Finish Last, where we help ladies take their side hustles to six figures, help you with your marketing so that you can start growing a full-time business. So if you are new to watching me, please say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Share this with other women entrepreneurs, and don't forget to like. Okay, so we are going to get started today. How are you killing the sale? What are you doing wrong? And how can you fix it? Let's talk about that. So I'll be honest, sales was pretty scary for me years ago when I first started off in sales and in business. Definitely it wasn't something that I was looking forward to doing, right? You get uncomfortable, you get all weird, and here's one thing, especially with women, they don't want to come off pushy. But now, after doing it for so long, it's just very natural to me. And it's not uncomfortable at all, whether I'm talking to someone on the phone or in person or from stage. It doesn't matter to me. It's just something that, like I said, comes natural, and it will for you too, the more that you do it. But it's going to always be frustrating if you can't seem to close, because the whole point of you even going through any kind of sales process is to get them to buy what you're offering. So let's talk about what you need to do in order to stop killing that sale. So if, first of all, grab pen and paper. If you want to help ease the anxiety of sales, first, there's a few things that you do need to do. You need to prepare for, okay? Number one, know what you're selling. Understand it. How does it work? What are the different options? What are the features? You don't know how many times I've spoken to someone who is trying to pitch something or sell something, and they really don't understand what they're selling. They don't understand how their product works. They don't quite understand how their services, like how beneficial they are. There's just so many missing parts, so many questions still there. And if you're new to selling something, regardless of what that is, you need to spend some time and learn it. You know, most people, if they go out and get hired to become a waiter or waitress, they have to memorize that menu. Well, honey, you got to memorize your menu. You need to know what the heck is going on in your business and what you're selling. It's really hard to convince someone that they should buy what you're offering when you don't even know how to talk about it, when you don't even know how to explain it. You're not even sure what it all does. Imagine if I was selling a car to you and I couldn't tell you anything about the vehicle except for it's red. It's got a steering wheel. I mean, it turns on, right? Yeah. That's not going to do it. So you need to prepare yourself. You need to understand what you're selling. That's number one. Number two, have 2 to 3 different options ready to go when you go for that close, when you go to make that offer. Know what each one comes with. Know what the benefits are. Understand how each option would help a different individual, because the options that you're going to present to the prospect is going to be depending on how your whole conversation went, which we will get there. It's going to help you determine what would be best for that prospect and what to offer them, because you have to understand that no one's going to buy something, or be really weird and rare if they did, if you were offering something to someone that they didn't want, something they didn't want or need. Okay, so you have to know and have ready those 2 to 3 different options, more I guess if you want, but let's just keep it simple, and be ready to go and be ready to have the to be able to upsell or downsell. Be prepared, because this is going to come down to this, and I might as well throw it in now. You have to be confident when you're selling. And that's why I want you to at least prepare with these 3 things, because if you can just prepare yourself with this, you will be much more confident when you go to sell. All right, the third one is be ready to master frequently asked questions that people may have and common objections. You don't know how many times you will lose a sale because you couldn't overcome an objection. Most times the objections are pretty easy to overcome, but you're still learning, you're still new. Maybe this has been your business for a couple years now and you still aren't doing well in sales. What are the excuses that people give you, and what's your response to it? Is it like, oh, you don't have the money, okay. Oh, you didn't like in this color, or you didn't like this size that we got, all right. Or do you have something to come back with? You need to. Years ago, one of the businesses I had, I owned and operated a call center. I've mentioned this in other videos if you've watched me at all. And I had a manual for every single rep with frequently asked questions. I mean, anything the person could have asked, ever. And if anyone ever asked a new question that was not in the manual, it was updated because we needed to add that question in. And common objections. What excuses would someone give you that you need to have a rebuttal for? I wanted everyone to be prepared, because you don't want someone to give you one little challenge and then bam, you lost them. So get those down. Think about it. If you're new in your company, ask these questions to other people that have more experience. What are some excuses people give you? What are questions that people ask quite often? And prepare yourself with that. Okay. And even after the call center, even in years after that with sales teams, always preparing each person on how to answer those kind of questions about the product or service, and how to overcome objections that they get. Nothing kills confidence more than not having an answer to something they're asking. Yeah, I'll have to find out for you. I mean, you could say that, not saying I never did. But if you have the answer to it, if you could have had the answer to it, get the answer to it. Don't be lazy. So make sure that you're prepared with all of that first, because what I'm going to share with you next won't matter at all if you didn't at least prepare with these 3 things. Okay, so now that we have all that cleared up, sales really isn't that hard, okay? It's actually pretty easy. And I know you're probably thinking, especially if you're terrified of sales, Jen, really? Okay. But it is. So let's talk about how to help ensure that you close the deal. And first of all, if you're watching this and you are in one of those like network marketing type companies, this is the kind of information they would never share with you because they still think sales is about inboxing random people you friend requested on Facebook and asking, hey, would you or someone you know be interested in saving money in this or buying this or blah, 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 blah. Really? Yeah. So anyways, now if you want actual step-by-step how-tos on how to sell, you'll need to be a part of our membership group. So you can go to nicegirlsfinishlast.com if you want more information, or if you want private one-on-one help, we also do that with clients. So you can inquire and get a free consultation, business strategy call, and to discuss. But in general, I'm going to share with you because I keep all the goodies for my members. But I do want to give you just an overall walkthrough of what to do when it comes to the sales. Okay, so first things first. If you can't seem to close like anybody, you're probably not qualifying anybody. And qualifying is one of the most important things. You have to know that what you're presenting to an individual is something that they would either need or want. You can't just going back to cars, would you sell a new car to someone who just bought a car? Would you sell kids' clothes to someone without children? Dog food and toys to someone with no dog? No. So you have to first be in front of the right audience. If you are just cold prospecting and trying to hit up anybody and their mama, that's problem number 1. So make sure that you are actually qualifying. Now, your sales presentation should never feel like a sales presentation. If you're doing PowerPoints and slides and all that boring stuff that nobody likes and just sits there awkwardly watching and is like waiting for that close, waiting for that pitch, no. It shouldn't feel like a sales presentation. It should feel more like a conversation. First of all, you want to ask them lots of questions. You want to understand where they're coming from, what their concerns are, what their needs are. You want to know where they're at because this is going to help you decide what's going to be best for them. It's also going to help you figure out if you can even help them, right? It's not just about, let's clear this up. It's not just about, let me just make a sale on someone so I can just make that money. It's not like that. You're selling because you know what it is you're offering will genuinely help that individual, whatever that may be. So that's first thing to know. But you need to understand, sorry, hair just keeps going in my mouth. You need to understand where they're coming from, what their needs are, so you know how you can best serve them, okay? The second thing is you should be letting them know throughout your conversation the problem that you solve, what your service or your product can do for them, how it's going to help them in the areas that they are struggling, having trouble, their areas of concern, all of that good stuff. Because, ladies, people don't care what the actual product or service is. They care what the results will be. They don't care about, I always find people want to share everything about how amazing their product or their service is, but they never talk about how it's going to help that individual get results. I could sit here and list for you what I would do marketing-wise for your business to get you to start generating leads and closing sales and getting customers and or recruits. But that's the part you want to hear. You don't want to hear the how-tos of how I'm going to do it. You want to hear what it's going to get you. You know what I mean? Like, you want to know the benefits of it, because that's really what's important to you. And that's really what's important to your prospect, is how it's going to benefit them, the results they're going to get, not just it comes in a pretty package and it's number one in the market and yeah, so what? What am I getting out of it? That's what they want to know. And that's what you would share throughout this conversation. Now, when you have already gone through all of this and you've already shared what you're selling is going to help them, and you go for the close, and yes, ladies, you have to go for the close. This is the part where people chicken out. I don't want to be pushy. And, well, timid salesmen have skinny kids. I don't know if you ever heard that quote. So your close should be more of a suggestion than just being super forward and pushy. And you may have never heard anybody say that before, and that's why sales is so scary for you, because you feel like now you have to say, okay, here's what I got. Which one are you getting? And you're kind of going to say that, but not in such a forceful way. You're going to share with them, look, here's what I got. Based on what you've told me, based on what you want, based on what you want to achieve, yada, 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 here is what you should go with. This is what's going to best help you. Again, have those 2 or 3 options ready to go. I prefer just 2, and then if need be, and depending on how the conversation goes, you offer in something else if you have to. If you realize they actually need more help than you thought, or a whole lot less, and they just kind of want to try things out. So you're going to present and make that suggestion of here's what we got. And then you're going to let them choose. Which one do you think is better for you? Which one do you want to go with? Which one are you leaning towards? Which one are you taking? So you do have to ask that direct question if you want a direct answer. You don't want wishy-washy people saying, I don't know, we'll see, maybe, I'll call you tomorrow, I'll ask my husband. And you know what? You shouldn't be wishy-washy either. So now here's the last part, but oh so critical. When the prospect actually makes that choice, you know what? I want to do this. This is going to be best for me, or let me just go with this for now. I think let me try it out and see where we're at. When they make the selection, don't talk yourself out of the sale. Don't start trying to keep convincing them. I know that sounds really strange that I'm saying that, but so many people do that. I've experienced people doing it to me. I've painfully watched people training reps do it to prospects, and it's just awful. So once they've made the selection, awesome. Let's get your information. Let's sign you up. Let me email you the invoice. Whatever. We're done with the conversations. There's no more or further convincing to be done. So stop talking yourself out of the sale. The more that you start talking once they've already decided they want to buy, the more questions you bring up in their mind. And you're probably thinking, well, Jen, that sounds a little maybe borderline shady. Like, what if they do have questions and don't you want them to be sure? They are sure. It's not about hiding anything. It's not about avoiding anything. It's just that they're not in that place yet where that information is even relevant. And oftentimes, new salespeople, entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever you want to call them, they want to give out way too much info way too soon. And it doesn't even apply to them yet. It doesn't even matter. But what you are doing is you're kind of almost like giving them a little fear of, am I making the right decision? Should I really be buying this? Is this a good time? And maybe it is a little too expensive. Oh, well, I didn't know it came with that feature. Now, how does that work? You just opened up a can of worms, and you're probably going to lose that sale. They're going to have to think about it, and they're going to have to call you tomorrow. But that's what you did. So don't do that. So once they make that selection, we're done. Now, here's another thing I want to leave you with before I end this. If, let's just say, you didn't talk yourself out of the sale, or maybe you kind of did, but they are they're not really interested. They are starting to give you excuses left and right, like I can't afford it or whatever. Well, first of all, I could go all day, every day on how to overcome objections, even with the I can't afford it thing. But again, I like to keep all those goodies for my members. So if you want to be a part of that and actually have like a step-by-step walkthrough script, then check out our group. But what I will say is don't go into desperate, irritated mode. I notice that a lot of people doing sales, when they get any kind of resistance, they start getting a little bit of an attitude like, oh, well, you must not see how great this is, or I don't think you're getting the big picture. Why wouldn't you want this? Did you not understand everything we just talked about? Like, you're ridiculous if you wouldn't buy. Don't beg someone to buy. If you have to pull them in, you're going to be pulling them all the rest of the way. Or they're going to have complaints. It's not what I thought. It doesn't work as good. Is this really how we're doing it? What about this? If you have to overly convince someone to make that purchase, they're going to be one of the worst people that you've ever had as a customer or client. And it's not the money, not worth the headache. So don't do that. Always stay confident in what it is that you're selling. Because think about this for a minute. So first of all, you would have an objection. You would have a rebuttal to their objection. If it was money or if it was whatever, you would already have something to say, but you'd say it in a very confident way. Like, oh, okay, well, what about this one? Is this a better for you financially? No? Okay, well, let's do a post-dated payment. There you go. Let's sign up. So there's different ways to go ahead and overcome them and still make the sale and still be confident that they're still buying. But let's just say that they're not going to buy at all. Don't go into jerk mode. Don't go into pushy mode. Just be like, okay, it's up to you. You know where to find me. If you still are, if you think about it and you want to come back and let me know tomorrow, whatever the case may be. But don't go into pushy, let me convince them mode. You don't need to do that. And this is why people don't like salespeople either, because no one wants to be sit there and like all awkward while they're pushing the sale on you. I mean, think about this. If you were shopping at Target and you get up there and you decide, you know what, I think I got way too many items on here. Let me just go ahead and put this laundry detergent back, whatever. I'm not taking this. The cashier is going to put it to the side and go on about her life and ring you up. Would she be like, well, why not? Well, I don't have the money. I don't really want to spend that much. Really? Because this is Tide. Like, this is going to really clean your clothes. Are you not seeing what a great wash your clothes will have when you're done using this detergent? Like, you should still buy this. Do they do that? No. Would that be extremely weird? Yes. And uncomfortable? Yeah. You probably would never go there ever again. And yes, do they care if they sell you a product? No, they're just an employee ringing you up. But if you are the one trying to make the sale now in your business and you are doing that, it's just as weird and awkward. No. If what you said in your whole sales presentation didn't get them, you didn't get them. They either weren't qualified, you didn't ask them the right questions, what you had to offer just really wasn't going to be beneficial to them. You need to go back and work on the things that you're saying, because if you are doing a good sales presentation, 80 to 100% are going to buy. And again, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get, and it'll just kind of flow for you. And you won't waste your time with people who are never going to buy anyways. And that's a big part in marketing too, is getting those right people to reach out to you. So if that's something you need help with, let me know, because you don't want to waste time just trying to cold prospect people and then being disappointed every time when it seems like nobody wants to buy. And I see ladies post this in women entrepreneur groups all the time. I'm just about ready to quit on my business. Nobody wants to buy. Everyone says it's too expensive, blah, 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 blah. Because you're talking to any and everybody and you're not qualifying and you're not attracting the right people because your marketing message sucks. And you have no idea who your target is. So anyways, ladies, hope this helped you. I hope this got you thinking. Please make sure to share this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? try it out and then come back and let me know how it worked out for you. But if you do want more guidance and step-by-step direction, go to nicegirlsfinishlast.com and we can talk about our membership group and get you in there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to share this, and I'll talk to you ladies soon.